หมุนโอเคนะครับวันนี้เดี๋ยวมาดูกันวันนี้เมื่อวานบิตคอยพุ่งนะครับแล้วก็วันนี้นะครับบิตคอยได้พูลแบ็กลงมาแล้วคาดว่าวันนี้นะออคอยน่าจะวิ่งนะครับวันนี้เดี๋ยวขอเช็คสัญญาณแป๊บนึงนะครับวันนี้ตอนนี้อยู่ต่างจังหวัดมาอุบลนะครับอยู่ที่บ้านนอกแล้วก็จะมีเสียงนกเสียงกาเจียวจ้าไปหมดเดี๋ยวขอเช็คสัญญาณว่าสัญญาณโอเคหรือเปล่าเดี๋ยววันนี้ผมจะพาไปดูการวิเคราะห์ของมาสเตอร์นะครับจากIM Academy นะครับเขามาวิเคราะห์ตัว Bitcoin นะครับว่าทิศทางมันจะไปยังไงต่อนะครับเพราะว่าตอนนี้ราคามันขึ้นมาทำ New High ใหม่นะครับทำ New High นะครับก็คือตรงนี้ขึ้นไปถึง67,000 นะครับเหรียญนะครับตอนนี้มันพูลแบ็กลงมาที่ 65,000 นะครับดูว่าจะหลุดตรงนี้หรือเปล่าแนวรับตรงนี้นะครับเดี๋ยวจะพาไปดูการวิเคราะห์ของนิโคเมสตรงไหนโอเคเดี๋ยวเปิดเสียงให้สักครู่นะว่าเขาวิเคราะห์ทิศทางของ Bitcoin จะไปยังไง
It is holding the level
มาพอร์ตเพชรแม่ต้องเปิดให้มีเสียง
All right, everybody, welcome Wednesday, October 20th. Here we are, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Folks, man, we have made history today. BTC has officially printed a new all-time high. And not only did it print a new all-time high, folks, but it is holding the level of 66,000 currently, with now Ethereum closing right behind it, trying to make a new all-time high. Folks, how's it going? Welcome back to another stream. We are going to get kick-started as of now. Feel free to drop whatever city, state, and country you are tuning in from. Happy Crypto Wednesday. And let's see who's in the house. What's going on, everybody? We got New Jersey in the building. We got New Orleans in the house. Poland, Thailand. We got Canada. Let's see. We got Indiana, Portugal, California, Dubai. How we doing? Happy Crypto Wednesday. North Carolina. We got Canada, Miami, Toronto, Munich, North Carolina, Indianapolis. Sweet deal, folks. Well, hey, listen, really excited. There's so much going on in the crypto space, and so much to cover on this session. So I know that Mikey Sotero, DeFi Mikey, and Curtis have been doing incredible go lives here, mashing up things, and I'm really excited for all of you guys to be able to access all of the info, between DeFi, altcoins, leverage positions, margin positions, portfolio. There's so much education. So shout out to all of you all that constantly and consistently are on these sessions, because I'm telling you, it does pay off learning this information. So folks, I want to go over really quickly where we are, the state of the market, some technical analysis. Our recent XRP position has hit TP1 and TP2. Took a little bit of time, but it did play out. Our current market is sitting at about 2.6 trillion, with over now close to 13,000 different cryptocurrencies around the world. And we are now really all eyes on the king BTC at 66,000. So I'm going to shift gears here. Let's go to Bitcoin. And folks, where are we headed? What is the next move? And according to time, where can we potentially expect some resistance and expect some re-entries? So first of all, we have our highest level, okay? The highest level prior its all-time high, if you don't know, it was 64,829. And as of today, folks, the high was 66,958. I'm pretty sure on some exchanges, we have cracked 67,000. It's very likely. And I am really excited to be able to cover, where we're potentially headed next in the macro side of things, which is the larger scale of things. And of course, look at into the smaller time frames and kind of put that magnifying glass and see what we could see and find some potential trade ideas for positions to really continue to catch this whole big impulse that BTC is currently aware and a part of. So first of all, folks, we have our basic extensions, of course, that we've been utilizing lately. Our 1.618 and our 2.618 really map a really clear picture. I think here at around $87,000, we have a confluence level based off two different Fibonacci extensions. And where I'm potentially thinking and also seeing a potential for price to head towards is, of course, $74,000 to about $72,000. If we zoom into this a little bit, we could kind of tell here on the daily we had this flag pattern. And, now that we're a little bit, as you would say, finally breaking out of this RSI, here's where it's a great example of now to share with you and show with you that not always does the RSI map out a clearest picture as you think. Because look at this example. Right now, the RSI is sitting here at 78, and we have already printed a new all-time high. We've actually, completely took out some of these prior RSI levels, and if we actually go to the highest point on the chart, which is right over here, we have a good amount of room for BTC to climb because, of course, at some of the highest in the RSI ran all the way to about 89. If we drop it here in time frames and kind of get an idea of some extensions or where potentially BTC could actually pull back, well, here we are, right? We put our Fibonacci's from here and we extend them, and the 3.618 lands right at 73,000. So, folks, honestly, I do think that we're headed to about 74,000, and 72,000 I think is really the window of time and price that I believe BTC is heading towards. Now, mind you, just like when a chart, let's see over here, just like when a chart breaks a low, right? And it goes into price discovery. You never really know how low the chart can go until, of course, we break above. And we've covered that in some examples. And now if we look at BTC, BTC is now what is considered under price discovery. You could go on the monthly chart. There is nothing to the left here. Folks, there is nowhere in sight do we see any level of resistance or topping information or data that would let us know that BTC is going to find some resistance. So it gets really exciting, folks. So be prepared, because honestly, I think this last couple of months of the year is going to get really exciting. And we've been calling it, folks. I mean, we've talked about that reaccumulation that happened at 29, 30,000. And since those very levels, if you would have accumulated when we've been, sharing this information, you're currently here in about 112 days, 119%, or 36,000 pips from those positions. So in regards to BTC, folks, we're going to keep an eye on it. Let's see how far it'll run. Of course, with any impulse, there is a pullback. And we obviously have some clear levels that we're going to keep an eye on. So first of all, let's throw this up. First of all, we have our low to our high here on fib levels. And you have to expect most of these dips will be bought. One more time. Most of these dips will be bought. Since we are now in a bullish market, it's the same thing if we were to flip this chart. If we were in a bearish market, the same concept would apply, right? For example, if we're in a bearish market, every rip or push is going to get what? Well, it's going to get sold. It's going to get, pretty much dumped. Every single on a bearish, obviously, sentiment. So if you look at where we're at right now, we are climbing. So every single retracement, it's going to get shallower and shallower, and it's going to get really exciting And no one could really mark the top on some of these moves. Of course, we could use Fibonacci extensions, we could use RSI, but you have to be really, really cautious because this thing can continue to run, but at the same time, it could pull back and wash out a lot of over-leveraged traders. And that's why it's so important that we're covering this right now. Because yes, just because we've broken all-time high doesn't mean now that we're going to get to 100,000. Be very cautious, folks, because the market likes to catch people at these positions. And for example, in your mind, your emotion, you have that thrill, you have that euphoria, you go long, and the market then washes those people out. It gets bought up really quickly, and the market picks right back up. So really, really, really important that you keep, emotion off the table, and you are conscious of technical analysis on the chart. This is the phase of euphoria. This is where people catch themselves in their emotions, where your positions, maybe you're holding some margin trades from 30, 40, 50,000, and you think that this thing's never gonna stop going up. And let me tell you, I'm here to check you, right? I'm here to help you, be your coach, and let you know that, hey, we gotta emotionally check ourselves and be conscious of our positions and conscious of our entries. All right, so I just wanted to drop some gems in regards to that. All right, feed is working, everyone. Feed is working. Let me see over here. Let's see. Awesome. So I see a lot of you guys coming from Sotero and of course Cobain session. Sweet deal, everyone. How we doing, y'all? All right, let's check over here. Cotero Club. Cotero Club. Good stuff, y'all. All right, let me check out some of these questions here. Do you use a stop loss? Of course. All these positions, folks, we do use a stop loss, all right? So here we go, everyone. So that is BTC, folks. We're going to keep an eye on the market. For now, the daily is approaching. We are having this close here at about 44 minutes. 44 minutes and 41 seconds. So we're going to be patiently waiting here as to how BTC is going to close. Some levels of interest, just in case we do get some of these pullbacks. You're going to have to really keep an eye on levels of confluence in regards to, of course, BTC. Here we have the 382, and we have a level of support resistance, a level of resistance now that can flip into support and could be utilized as a level. It's possible, all right, that the prior all-time high, which was $64,000, could be used as a retest, or the market could continue. So really, really, really important that you guys keep an eye on that, all right? Actually, with the scalper, we're seeing BTC's actually hovering on the 15-minute chart. It used the 50 EMA on the 15-minute chart here as support, everyone. So we're patiently waiting to see if we're able to utilize this as support and market continues to rise, or if we're going to retest, like I just covered, these prior all-time highs. I wouldn't be looking for a position right now. I'd be really, really cautious in entering trades on the margin, even on spot here at these levels. Let's check some info and some data here on the RSI, folks, on lower time frames. This is the 4-hour. No divergence that we are seeing on the 1 hour. No divergence as well. However, on the 1 hour, as you can see, we had an 82 on the RSI. We found our top here at about 67,000 or so, and we have peeled back a tad bit. So that is Bitcoin, everybody. I'm expecting, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if by Saturday, quite frankly, we are approaching 72, 73, and even 74,000. So get really, really, really excited about that. But of course, mind that emotion, because if we kind of reset here, we kind of have to look at time. Time is really important in what we are currently geared in. We mark our high and our low, right? We are approaching. So mind you, look at this. Pay attention to time right here, all right? Pay attention to time. Here we are. From the high, the prior all-time high of 64,000 to the official higher
ตัวนี้
low
ให้ทุกคน
or
นะครับ
low of
สั
the
งเกต
move.
นะครับ
It
วิธี
took
การใช้เครื่องมือหรือว่าใช้
96 mind me, okay? Now one
ตั
more
ว
time.
ช่วยชี้วัด
We
หรือว่า
went
ตัวบ่ง
from that
ชี้
low
นะครับ
of the market and 96 days,
อย่าง
a
ฟิโบนะครับ
perfect mirror
การตีฟิโบ
of the
โดย
move would
ทั้
land
งแนว
us on the
เรียกว่าทั้งแนวตั้งและแนว
25th
น
of
อน
October.
นะครับวิเคราะห์ได้
So
รอบด้าน
time
มาก
is ticking and time is approaching a potential area of confluence in regards to time. So it is potential that we find and, get that overhead resistance here, not just based off Fibonacci extension, but also based off Fibonacci time. Time-based fib is showing us that the second, okay, right here, number 2, lands on the 25th of October. So it's possible, for example, now that we had that first initial Elliott wave, you kind of draw your chart and you go here, first impulse, retracement, second impulse, right? Let's say we push it to 75,000, retracement.
ตรงนี้นะครับตรงนี้ให้สังเกตให้ดีนะครับดูวิธีการใช้เครื่องมือในการวิเคราะห์
logical levels of expansion. So if we go to about 75,000 or so, the 382 would be 61,000, the 236 would be 66,000. Things start to map out very, very cleanly as we're seeing right here. If you start measuring, obviously, price, you look at some of these extensions that could potentially meet us here on the 5th leg, it could get pretty drastic, on this last impulse where we could potentially be. Right around 100 to about $125,000 here for BTC. So be patient, folks, but be cautious. Don't chase a trade. Don't, for example, at all, if you feel like you missed out on BTC, now you're longing ETH, remember, it's really important to understand that the market is triggered by BTC. So the current state of the market is pretty overextended, as you can see. So let's say that your favorite altcoin hasn't moved yet, or ETH hasn't moved yet, or XRP hasn't moved yet. What do you think is going to happen to projects if BTC decides to pull back? 9 times out of 10, a lot of these alts will also get a nice little retracement or a pullback, unless we start ranging for BTC, for example, and all of that volume and that money, for example, let's say BTC starts trading sideways, then it'll start entering ETH and XRP. I don't think it's the time yet, everybody. I think right now BTC is going to go for its run. It's the BTC show, the spotlights on BTC, and we're going to be really cautious on its movement and some of its triggers, so we know when this potential alt season is coming. All right, any questions on BTC, feel free to ask away, folks. I'm now going to shift over gears. Now we are looking at Ethereum, everybody. All right, you guys having bugs on Go Live? On my end, it looks great. Let me see over here. Any questions, folks? Any questions? Yeah, and Mercury retrograde just officially ended, from what I've heard. I'm not really too keen on astrology and whatnot, but just letting you know. Yeah, time-based Fibonacci is pretty crazy. It's really mind-boggling, to be frank. But all right, folks, here we are. We got good old Ethereum. A good old Ethereum, healthy, beautiful, healthy looking chart. Look at this thing. I mean, it's just stupendous. I mean, it's great. Probably one of the most beautiful monthly candles that is approaching. We still have 11 days, October, 11 days, folks. We are dropping now down to the weekly, and let me kind of go over a couple things that we do need to cover. Let's draw some extensions here from the high to the low. We are approaching now the 3618. So 5,000 is a really important level. I think it's going to get met really soon. So let me actually draw it up here. I think we could even overshoot to a little bit of 5,100. So 5,000 I think is an area of interest for me. Let's actually just drop it down a little bit, because this could be in a region for price to meet here very soon based off extensions. Okay.
ตัวนี้ก็จะเป็นจุดที่อีเธเรียมจะขึ้นไปเทสนะครับ
Today's shift is going to be a little bit different. Our goal live is going to be a little bit different because, of course,
ที่ 51,000 นะจุด take profit
massive signals that it's here, folks. New all-time highs are coming, and you guys need to be prepped, have these zones on your chart, and understand exactly what you could be potentially doing in the markets. So we drew our high to low here, fib extensions, okay? We have 1.618 sitting at, excuse me, where is it? 1.2618, right? 3618 lands at 50,000. And then our second level of Fibonacci extensions, which is right around here, which was the recent sell-off from 4,300 down to about 1,700. Our 1.618 lands us at 5,900, 8,500, and 3,618 lands us at $11,000. Look, I know Picasso has said it. I know I've said it a couple times. I wouldn't be surprised, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if eventually, with time, after Bitcoin makes its movements, that Ethereum starts to catch up, okay, to BTC. Now, it's a long haul because the market capitalization, which is really what makes the standings for your crypto, like Bitcoin's number one, not based off price, not based off the 24-hour movement or the 7-day or its volume, none of that. It's based off its market capitalization, period, right? That's what it is currently marked as. And if I'm not mistaken, you get market cap by multiplying price with circulating supply. One more time, how you could calculate market cap, you don't need to do it because the site already does it for you, but it's price times circulating supply gives us $1,243,000,000, etc. You get this big old price. So I still have the theory, and I know Picasso does too, that eventually ETH could potentially flip and go number one in the future. But to kind of paint the picture, that means that ETH would have to go $8,000 and then be potentially worth 800 or so billion. It'd have to go to 1,200 to be almost 12,000, $12,000 for it to have Bitcoin's current market capitalization. So that's how you could do the math sometimes. And, you know, most people sometimes when they get newly into cryptocurrency, they always give the example of XRP. People always say, oh, Nick, can XRP ever get to $1,000? And I'm always a big sayer of never say never, but there's certain things that I would say are a little unrealistic. Because if you were to multiply $1,000 times the circulating supply of XRP, you're put in a number of market cap that's way over any sizable amount in the whole entire industry. So it's a good way to kind of measure where a potential coin could be. And that's why market capitalization and everything is actually measured like that. All right. Let me see over here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to be looking. So where I'm going to be looking for positions, folks, all right, is I'm going to be looking for trades is for ETH and XRP. Those are the two pairs that I trade, all right? ETH right now has already made its move. It's at 41.45. I've been getting a lot of messages, guys, with the boot camp. A lot of you guys have been crushing the charts. I've been getting some of your guys' results, seeing what you guys are doing on the charts. I've been getting markups. So hats off to a lot of you guys. You know, the last position, a lot of you guys were able to capture this trade right here, which is a clean SR flip, 50 tap of the Fibonacci here at around 36.69. And now we're seeing a really large explosion, and we actually made a new higher high. On the 4-hour RSI, no divergence, nothing to worry. What we do have here, though, is on the 4H, is we do have some divergence right over here. So we have a new high. Price has made a high. We have a high, we have a higher high, and divergence has a high and a higher low. So that's going to need to clear here in a little bit.
Ethereum ก็เกิด divergence นะ
Here on the daily, we are now approaching RSI territory of 70, with of course still, okay, which still have some divergence as well here with a high and a higher high and a high and a higher low. So there's diversion, folks, and that's actually bearish. So I think that this is honestly the time that ETH just blasts through this level. This is we had 1 attempt, 2 attempt, 3 attempt. This is the 4th attempt here for ETH, and this is going to be one of the highest daily closures ever since we approached the all-time high. So ETH all-time high was 43.73, and right now we're seeing 41.45. So we're going to be waiting. I'm going to cover, I see a lot of questions with alts. I'm going to be covering Nobility, Superbid, a lot of the altcoins that we're involved in, all right, everybody? For now, everyone, I honestly would stay flat. I'd stay really flat in the market if you're not in any trades. Even on the 15-minute here, we're seeing a little bit of a rising wedge here on the 15-minute here for ETH. Let's actually take a look really quickly. I'm not going to short anything, to be honest with you, not with this strength that we're seeing, but, you know, a clean rising wedge here for ETH towards the end of the day. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of some selling pressure here towards the daily candle or the opening new daily candle, as here we have bearish divergence and also a rising wedge pattern. All right, let's drop over to XRP, everyone. Great setup that was sent over recently. And for those of you that are asking me, you know, most people ask me, Nick, should I be getting involved with Bitcoin, Ethereum? And I always cover, and I've been sharing this for weeks now. You know, if you missed the train, it's completely fine. There are so many different trains that are still at the station. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of cryptocurrencies that are starting a brand new market cycle as we speak and are not at the potential top of one or at the exhaustion of one. So here we have XRP. XRP still, folks, it's being suppressed by the SEC lawsuit. But the ecosystem of XRP for Ripple is growing. The Songbird network, the Flare network, there's so much projects that are now starting to come about and being built on that ecosystem that I'm pretty excited for all of these new coins that are going to be emerging, just like they emerged from the Ethereum ERC20 tokens. And of course, all of these projects that are coming out from different really big, large market cap projects. On the monthly, hey, XRP has more room to run. It has not even came close to its original all-time high. If we drop here down to the daily, we had an incredible position. Folks, who caught that last trade I sent over? Really good setup. I mean, on the dime, we bought from 8.5 to 6.5, okay? Right there was our last entry. So we let that flush happen, a retest, and we entered right here. I mean, this is as clean as it gets for an entry. Really, really clean. And some of our
ตรงนี้ก็เป็นจุด
targets were, of course,
ที่แกวิเคราะห์ไว้ใน
TP1
สัปดาห์ที่แล้ว ช่วง3 วันที่แล้ว
Second target was 115. We've already hit that as well.
วิเคราะห์ไว้แม่นมาก
And our last target is 120. So we still have positions from down here, you know, approaching our last target, and
ก็ขึ้นไป
hopefully,
take
folks,
profit
taking out this
จุดที่
high
2
that we had here at about $1.22. Because look at this. I mean, we've had this beautiful, you know, inverted shoulders formation. We completely flushed and gathered liquidity over here, which was pretty much our entry. And this should give room to now potentially drive us right back up to potentially $1.20, $1.30, $1.40, based off, of course, just technical analysis. I don't really get stuck too much on news and fundamentals. The ETF came out, everything's bullish, I get that. But the charts to me are number one always. Technical analysis to me are always number one. And if you're looking at the chart right now, we are approaching this potential trend line that, you know, has been tapped, and we could even base this off the closure, and you could see that, you know, once we potentially crack this, you know, this thing open, it's gonna get pretty exciting, because, you know, we have this what we could call a flag, or this is like an ascending triangle. We've had a high, higher, low. I would potentially be looking here for XRP, and I'll kind of guide you guys. Those are our targets. We've already hit them. We caught 700 to even 900 pips depending on your entry. But this is what I'm looking for now. XRP could potentially give us a nice little pullback, right? To at least, I'd say, the 236, which would be $1.12, or beautifully back to the 382, to then net us a really good potential area to long this potential breakout of structure. So I'm still waiting on that. I don't want to rush anything. We're still in positions in regards to XRP. As you could see, let's actually adjust this correctly. There we go. There we go. Boom. 0 to 1 from the high to the higher low. We pretty much beautifully entered in between the 1832 to the 16618. and the 2 is approaching. So it could either potentially mark a top, or if this thing is to pull back, I'd like to look at an area here to catch that pullback here for XRP. So for now, patience is the name of the game. Let the market just continue to run, or let it pull back. It's got to let it talk to us, right? Right now it's excited, but people will take profits. People will try to short. People will try to call tops, and you want to be on the right side of the market. So right now I'm not looking at any entries. There's a potential, if we drop this down to the 4-hour, that this cluster right here does hold for a potential new level to long. So we've already had a tap of it. Okay, this was our old entry, not looking at that anymore. But I'm waiting, folks. I'm going to be looking here to see if maybe $1.12 to $1.10 is our new re-entry here for XRP, which would print another style of inverted head and shoulders to then potentially net us that move higher. All right? If you are in positions, though, all right, if you are in positions, listen to this. Move your stops to break even, but not your entry. I'm talking about if you're up right now. I mean, we bought from 8.05, right? 8.5. You're up right now 500 or so pips. I'd move your stops. I mean, 400 pips in profit, 300 pips in profit, right? Secure those profits, folks. Don't get greedy. We will be looking for some re-entries. So don't, of course, lose those profits if the market does decide to flush. I'm going to take a look at here some questions, everyone. Feel free to ask away. A little bit more in depth today with TA, which is technical analysis. But folks, I'm not going to call a sell when all-time highs are all coming out. So it's best to just give it some time, give it some patience. Here we're seeing, of course, some divergence here in the 1 hour as well. So this will make way for a nice re-entry, which I will wait for. We've already wicked to $1.13. So you know what? I'm going to mark this level. And I like historically this level, $1.12 to $1.10. We've longed this area in the past. So we'll wait. We'll patiently wait there for XRP. And this will lead us, hopefully, folks, back up to, of course, $1.20, $1.44. And really the goal is to see this thing go back to $2, $2.50, $3, and eventually touch these Fibonacci extensions that, you know, could really make its move towards $3, $4, $5, $6, of course. All right, so for Superbid, everybody, Superbid, let's go over here, full out chart. This is what we got here on the hourly. Hourly, we have made our expansion, of course, to about $6. We have pulled back. This retracement really has dropped us to, I believe so. Let's go over here, the 70. Was it a perfect tap of the 70? It was. A good level where it actually held. If we drop it down to the 4-hour here for Superbid, check this out.
เดี๋ยวทุกคนจับดูเหรียญนี้ไว้นะครับ
On this 4-hour, if you were to actually just for
มาสเตอร์มาวิเคราะห์แสดงว่าเหรียญ
if you look where that
บางคนอาจจะไม่เคยเล่นนะครับเหรียญแบบนี้ถ้ามาสเตอร์มาวิเคราะห์เนี่ยแสดงว่าเหรียญเนี้ยมันมีทิศทางที่ดีแน่นอนนะครับถ้ามีโอกาสได้เก็บนะครับได้ถือก็เข้าซื้อและถือไว้นะครับเก็บไว้เป็นเหรียญอนาคตได้นะครับพวกนี้
We've had the flush, beautiful re-entry for most folks that, of course, played this position out. And now, you know, the next impulse is, of course, if we look at, here we go. Let me actually get some fib extensions. Here we go. From that low, you know, next target would sit us at about $8. $8 or so. And if we look at where that would potentially net us, that would originally take this high, that high, and $8 to $9 would be our first potential target here for Superbid. So, folks, make sure if you do have these assets to have them staked. You go to the panel, or if anything, Google how to do so. Educators are not allowed on how to teach you how to buy or how to do these staking, of course, instructions. So just make sure to go to their websites, their you know, their Medium articles and tutorials, so you can go full in depth into that, right? So for now, folks, super bid, I still see $8, $9, and I think really this is just a start. If you go to coin market cap, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you go to super bid, it's such a small project still to this day. It's at $3.66. Market cap's at 25 million with only about $1 million in volume per day. So kind of put that into perspective, right? We looked at Bitcoin that's at $1 trillion. We looked at ETH that's at 500 billion, right? The amount of room to run for, of course, Superbid is, as you're seeing, a big potential in, you know, as it gets potentially listed in some larger exchanges, you know, you'll start to see some volume and some new exchanges really give life to projects. And that's potentially what we're waiting here for Superbid. Now, folks, this is Nobility. And this is a prime example, right? Take away the project, take away what it is, take away everything. I want to cover the chart. This is the types of charts that I've been repeatedly saying that, hey, if you missed Bitcoin, if you missed Ethereum, if you missed any of these projects, look for good, solid foundation products with utility, with solid ownership, but that the chart has completed a market cycle. Look at this chart, folks. Expansion, all-time highs. A full emotional market cycle from creating a new all-time high to dropping down all the way down to support. And now look at what happens when a project starts a new cycle. This is the hope stage of so much that if you were to look statistically here speaking, I want to make this chart a little bit better, but I guess I can't. This coin has done 228%. 228%. Let's actually see from what time. There we go. In 8 days. 8 days. So it's very likely that we're going to be seeing. I just had.
สัญญาณเน็ตไม่ดี
Fibonacci. So of course, if you look at Nobility, some potential pullback. I see this thing going all the way down, possibly to 618, even the 50. And then starting, of course, its Elliott wave formation, which would put us here. For example, we got 1, 2, something like that is extremely possible here for Nobility. So in the meantime, if you do have Nobility, make sure to have BUSD added on to that same wallet address. I'll briefly show you why. Because it does pay you BUSD, right? It'll pay you BUSD on the reflections and on every single transaction that happens in the chain, buy, sell, transfer. It is paying you BUSD through the volume that is produced. So, I mean, you could kind of see over here all the BUSD I've earned for literally just holding this project in a wallet. So, if you caught the bottom, congrats. Really good entries. If you're still in a little bit of drawdown, because of course most of our entries are up here, then we'll be waiting. But of course you'll be earning that BUSD while this positions and while everything is moving in the market. All right. So let's go now to OMI. I'm seeing some questions here. I want to cover all of our projects that we are personally in. OMI. So here we are. We're seeing a little bit more of a pullback here for OMI on the daily. We made our expansion to about 0.08, and we have now creeped back down to about 0.06, with, of course, a Fibonacci level that we are seeing right here of the 50, and meeting this level of support that we're potentially holding. Now, this is the thing with OMI. I do expect a little bit of a retracement, because if you could see, we've already pretty much, you know, did our three-way Elliott count that you could see, and it's very likely that we see our ABC correction. It's very likely, right? A corrective wave that we see something like this potentially play out, and then, you know, give us once again that expansion to take us to potentially new all-time highs when there is a new alt season that is coming about. For now, if we look at some potential extensions based off some of these levels, it could net 0.009, 0.001, and of course half 1.5 of a penny. So we'll be waiting, everybody. We will be waiting for some of these movements. But for now, Omi is back at support. I want to see how it reacts and how it holds to these levels. Sushi seeing some nice move, a 7% gain today. Internet Computer Company is seeing some growth as well. Litecoin, 206. I really rarely cover Litecoin because it's, I don't know, not that I'm not a fan. I've been holding Litecoin for years, but sometimes its price action is pretty boring in my opinion. But Litecoin highs have always been, we actually made a new all-time high at 407. We're at 206. And recently, let's see over here, good structure, V-shaped recovery. Looks like we got a new potential daily candle closure here, putting us potentially to, of course, expand at about 292 and retag this all-time high. So I think alt season is going to be really crazy this go around in the markets. Look at Dent.
ไลท์คอยวิ่งไม่ทันบิตคอย
Oh
ไล
my
ท์คอย
goodness. If this plays out how I think it's going to play out, this might be monstrous for Dent. Like, no kidding. I'm not active in any of these positions, but what I mean by that is, if you look at the prior all-time high, it was 11 cents. So you kind of look at its first leg, second leg, right? And this is just based off extensions. I mean, I think $1.40 is pushing it. I mean, it's hopeful, but you know, you look at some of these extensions. This is a little bit more clear. There we go. So let's just go here. 2.618. Yeah, these other extensions were a little too crazy here for that. You know, just mapping out some potentials. There we go. Something like that could definitely play out. For good old Dent. Can you cover price targets on Stellar? I have NBL on my MetaMask, but I'm not earning BUSD. You have to add BUSD to your wallet. Okay, so you would, of course, add the asset. So you got to add BUSD as an asset. And then I think you have to have 200,000 or more NBL in your wallet. And folks, any of these questions, where to buy, how to do everything, just go to nobilitytoken.com.
ตัวนี้เหรียญก็เขาซื้อใน Binance ไม่ใช่ซื้อใน MetaMask
Okay. I can't cover any of this information on these lives, but
คนนี้เป็นเหรียญนอกกระดานเนาะ
briefly letting you know. Let me see. I hold coin. I have a very substantial portfolio. Yes, I do. I trade because I love to trade.
ครับเมตรหนึ่งป่ะ
But I have a trading account
ครับ
and I have a
ทั้งกว้าง
portfolio.
ทั้งกว้าง
I've
อ่ะ
been
สัก
holding crypto since
2 เมตรก็ได้
2016, so
เมตรเดียวก็ได้
imagine. Yes.
แต่ว่าถ้าอยากให้ลดเขาได้ก็
Listen.
2 เมตร
Hey.
ครับ
I am just patiently waiting here for Atari. It doesn't want to move, and you know, it happens sometimes with projects. The project isn't going away, or you know, they're still working on the back end, but sometimes, you know, if you go on TradingView and you go on CoinMarketCap, some of these projects here stay flat, and this is what's called an accumulation phase, and eventually it starts to break out. Now, I can't tell you when specifically this is going to happen, but Atari's still sitting in those levels of buys from 4 to 6 cents. All right. Awesome. Okay. So lastly, I'll take a look here. Yeah, see, the market's so strong. We got 13 minutes till the daily close. Honestly, with how bullish the market is, I honestly just expect BTC to hold here and continue. ETH, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if tomorrow we're at 4,300, to be honest with you. The market is extremely bullish.
ใครถือ BTC ก็โฮไว้ก่อนนะถือไว้ก่อน
Remember,
ราคายังไม่หลุดเส้น EMA ลงมา
have the same outlook that the market is using, because you can't be bearish in a bullish market. Does that make sense? And you can't be bullish in a bearish market. You got to understand the sentiment and trade along with it, right? It's like, how could I make a good metaphor about this? It's like if everyone's dancing salsa and you're dancing like you're listening to rock music, it doesn't pair up. You have to be in tune with the market, because if you're always waiting for bearish setups, you're going to be against the trend or the wrong entries or caught up in really bad positions. So right now I'm bullish. Don't get me wrong. Will there be potential sell-offs? But it's harder to trade against the trend and to potentially guess these sell-offs than what it would be to find these re-entries in a continuing bullish market. Does that make sense? So trend is your friend. You'll hear it all the time as a trader. For now, we're going to be waiting for a lot of these re-entry zones so we could, of course, go over all that. I'm seeing the chat box, folks. I've already covered Bitcoin. I've already covered Ethereum. We're waiting for daily closures. If not, go through the recording. We covered XRP. We covered OMI. We covered Atari, Superbid, Nobility. Any projects that I'm missing? I think that's it, folks. So other than that, ADA 218.
จะมีเสียงรบกวนหน่อยนะครับ
Did it ever go to that level that I
อยู่
was
ต่างจังหวัด
expecting? No, I never retested it. See, it started making higher lows and then it just made an expansion. Interesting. Low was 209. Sol 154 and rocket to 174. Let's see over here. ETH BTC chart. Let's kind of look at it really quickly. It's going to flag. I don't expect it to lose the support because both BTC and ETH are ranging, but you know what? Got to be a little patient on this chart because BTC is in control and I don't know how strong ETH is going to run against it. Link 27. Yeah, we'll wait. So we'll see, folks. So Friday, noon Eastern time is our next session. I'd stay patient and wait. Don't force any setups. Let the closure happen. Let the opening day happen. We're in only one trade, which is the XRP position. This is my Instagram, folks. My only Instagram. If any other accounts follow you, these are fake accounts.
Instagram ของ Nikomaz ด้วยนะครับ
But other than that, everybody,
Nikomaz.
happy trading. I hope you guys were able to catch that XRP position. So congratulations. And folks, happy new all-time high. Today was history in the making. So really, really excited about where the market is headed. And look at this push. ETH is going for it. ETH is going for it. It's breaking. Look at that. It's going for it. Oh my goodness. We're seeing this live here. 9 minutes and 30 seconds till the daily close. BTC flat. ETH pushing. XRP with a huge candle right now on the hourly as well. We got the volume back, everybody, so congrats to every single one of you. All right, y'all, catch you guys all Friday. Take care, much love, and I'll see you all either on Telegram, Swipecoin, or on our next goal.
โอเคนะครับก็นะครับไม่อยากให้ทุกคนพลาดตรงนี้นะครับก็เลยมาไลฟ์สตรีมให้ทุกคนได้ดูนะครับเสียงรบกวนไม่ใช่อุปสรรคนะครับอยากให้คนอยากให้เพื่อนๆพี่ๆนะครับทุกคนไม่พลาดโอกาสตรงนี้นะครับในการวิเคราะห์ของคุณนิโคเมสนะครับบางคนอาจจะยังเข้าโกไลท์ไม่เป็นนะครับก็เลยช่วยนะครับทำการสตรีมผ่านช่อง YouTube นะครับเพื่อให้สะดวกในการติดตามแล้วก็รับชมนะครับผมโอเคก็เดี๋ยวมีอะไรมาอัปเดตก็จะสตรีมผ่านช่อง YouTube ช่องนี้นะครับช่อง e-money up นะครับก็ฝากทุกคนนะครับช่วยกดไลค์กดติดตามให้ด้วยนะครับผมโอเคนะครับเดี๋ยววันนี้ต้องไปปลูกต้นไม้แล้ว กลับมาที่อุบลครับมีภารกิจต้องมาปลูกต้นไม้นะครับผมโอเคก็จริงๆเมื่อวานเนี้ยพอปลูกต้นไม้กลับขึ้นมานะเมื่อวานก็พาทีมนะครับออกออเดอร์อีเธเรียมเซลไปนะครับตอนนี้ก็น่าจะติดอยู่นะครับขึ้นมาก็มันบินไปแล้วคือที่เราเข้าซื้ออีเธเรียมน่าจะช่วงบิตคอยอยู่ช่วงแถวๆเนี้ยเดี๋ยวเมื่อวานเข้าไปดูก่อนกลับมากราฟบินแล้วโอ้โหเสียดายนะครับมีสัญญาณ เดี๋ยวผมจะให้ดูนะครับ ไม่รู้ว่าพี่ๆยังอยู่ในห้องกันอยู่หรือเปล่าเดี๋ยวผมแชร์นะครับ เมื่อวานผมไม่ได้อยู่หน้าจอด้วยแหละช่วงที่กราฟมันออกสัญญาณบายมาอีกรอบหนึ่งดูอีเธเรียมเดี๋ยวดูตัวสไวท์คอยนะครับเมื่อวานเราพลาดตรงที่นะครับไม่ได้อยู่ที่หน้าจอนะครับ เมื่อวานนี่นะครับอีเธเรียมเมื่อวานเราออกสัญญาณกันช่วงนี้สัญญาณเซลล์มานะครับพอออกสัญญาณเซลล์แล้วนะครับตอนแรกกล่องดำเส้นดำเส้นเนี้ยมันอยู่ด้านล่างตรงนี้ที่ผมบอกว่าถ้าจะให้ชัวร์นะครับให้ราคานะครับมันลงมาอยู่ใต้เส้นสีดำนี้ก่อนนะครับเมื่อวานนี้ทีนี้นะครับเมื่อวานก็มีก็คืออยากสอนวิธีการออกออเดอร์นะครับให้กับพี่บางคนที่ยังไม่ได้ออกออเดอร์หรือว่าดูสัญญาณดูยังไงแล้วออกยังไงเมื่อวานก็เลยพาออกออเดอร์น่าจะมี 2-3 คนนะครับที่ติดอยู่ตรงนี้นะครับก็ตัวที่ติดก็ติดไว้ก่อนนะครับแต่เมื่อวานเนี้ยนะครับมันมีกล่องดำอยู่ตรงนี้กล่องดำในข้อความนะครับตรงนี้มันจะขึ้นว่าเซลล์ใช่ไหมครับเมื่อวานถ้าราคาต่ำกว่าเนี้ยคราวนี้เมื่อวานมีสัญญาณบายแล้วมีกล่องเปลี่ยนนะครับสัญญาณของกล่องดำมันเปลี่ยนนะครับมันเปลี่ยนจุดตรงนี้ให้ทุกคนนะครับเปลี่ยนออเดอร์ตามทันทีนะครับถ้าเป็นแบบนี้ให้ปิดออเดอร์ตัวเซลล์นะครับแล้วก็มาเปิดบายนะครับเพราะว่าตอนเนี้ยเขาคอนเฟิร์มบายมาแล้วกล่องตัวนี้จากเซลล์มันเปลี่ยนเป็นบายมันขึ้นมาอยู่ด้านบนทีนี้ทุกคนตรงเนี้ยผมอยากถ้าทุกคนออกออเดอร์แล้วอยากให้ดูจุดนี้ด้วยถ้าเปิดเซลล์แล้วมันไม่ลงแท่งมันไม่ลงมาเหนือเหมือนตัวนี้สมมติว่าแท่งนี้นะครับเดี๋ยวขอดูจอใหญ่ๆแท่งสีดำไม่ใช่เส้นสีดำนะครับแล้วก็แท่งเทียนแท่งนี้ทุกคนเห็นไหมครับแท่งเทียนสีเขียวที่จริงตรงเนี้ยสัญญาณมันน่าจะอยู่โซนนี้นะมันเป็นแนวรับตรงนี้น่าจะอยู่ตรงนี้เดี๋ยวเนี่ยแท่งที่มันขึ้นไปยืนเหนือแบบเนี้ยเต็มแท่งซูมได้ไหมซูมแป๊บนึงเนี่ยอันนี้คือสัญญาณที่ดีนะครับสัญญาณที่ดีเนี่ยลักษณะแบบนี้คือมีเส้นดำนะครับ1สัญญาณบายมา2กล่องดำขึ้นมาแล้วก็คอนเฟิร์มว่าให้บายนะครับเนี่ยเขาบอกว่า3862แอนคอนเฟิร์มบายได้เลยนะครับที่ราคา3862ถ้ามีแท่งเทียนยืนเหนือนะครับเส้นสีดำแบบนี้นะครับสัญญาณบายมาแล้วคอนเฟิร์มเข้าบายตรงนี้ถ้า ถ้าแท่งเทียนคอนเฟิร์มแบบนี้แล้วยืนแบบนี้นะครับให้เราสามารถคัดตรงนี้ได้เลยคัดเซลล์ได้เลยนะครับคัดเซลล์แล้วก็เปิดออเดอร์บายตามเลยนะครับถ้าไม่คัดเราก็เปิดออเดอร์บายไปเราก็จะติดเหมือนที่บอกน้องแบงค์ในช่วงของต้นชั่วโมงของเมื่อวานนะครับก็คือที่น้องบอกว่าติดตรงนี้อยู่นะครับคราวนี้เราเปิดเซลล์นะครับเซลล์ปุ๊บคราวนี้มันไม่ลงมาอยู่ใต้เส้นสีดำก่อนหน้านี้นะครับเราก็เปิดบายนะครับเมื่อมันยืนเหนือเส้นสีดำตรงนี้นะครับแล้วก็ถ้าเราคัดได้ก็คัดยอมขาดทุนนิดหน่อยนะครับไม่ต้องเสียดายนะครับแล้วก็เปิดบายตามเลยเพราะว่าสัญญาณคอนเฟิร์มมันได้คือ1สัญญาณบายมา2มีแท่งดำมีเส้นดำแล้วก็มีกล่องดำคอนเฟิร์มให้เราว่าถ้าราคาหลุด3862ขึ้นไปนะครับให้คอนเฟิร์มบายตรงนี้นะครับเนี่ยตรงเนี้ยสำคัญนะครับบางทีเราตรงนี้เราต้องก็ค่อยๆเรียนรู้ไปแล้วกันนะครับเมื่อวานผมพลาดด้วยแหละเมื่อวานผมไม่ได้อยู่หน้าจอเมื่อวานลงไปปลูกต้นไม้กลับขึ้นมาราคามันดีดขึ้นมาอยู่โซนนี้แล้วนะครับโอเคนะครับก็ขอบคุณนะครับสำหรับติดตามรับชมมาจนถึงตรงนี้นะครับโอเคเดี๋ยวเรามาหาทางต่อกันว่าจะไปยังไงต่อนะครับผมโอเคตรงนี้เรามีไม้เหลืออยู่แล้วนะครับเดี๋ยวเรามาหาทางแก้ดอยหรือว่าหาวิธีการแก้ไขกันต่อนะครับผมโอเคสำหรับคลิปนี้นะครับก็ขอจบแต่เพียงเท่านี้นะครับผม ขอบคุณนะครับ